What's the good word, y'all? Welcome to New York Jets Syndicate channel. It's your boy DKB here, and I have a trade proposal for you guys that was brought my way. And I'll say this up front: I absolutely hate it. It makes zero sense to me. This just seemed like the personal interest of somebody that wanted to try to upgrade their roster. A little bit of background. If you don't know about Joe Douglas, he is that man. He transforms himself into a supervillain. I like to think the closest thing to a Thanos that we have in the NFL front office, and the man simply doesn't lose trades. Every trade that he's been a part of has either looked good with time, or worst case scenario, you can say that he's broken even. Sam Darnold, Jamal Adams, the man got a fourth for Blake Cashman. He was able to get a fourth for Chris Herndon. The list is pretty steep for himself. He's even looking at trying to get a pick back for a punter in Braden Mann. So keep that at the forethought of your mind as we go through this. But the trade partners would be our beloved New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals in this case. One of the few player for player trades, they would like to swap Mekhi Becton for Jonah Williams. And, the name intrigued me. Of course, we could use more depth. We could use more potential long-term solutions. But once I realized it was a player-for-player trade, it was an immediate no to me. Mekhi Becton, injury history aside, is easily the better player so far compared to Jonah Williams. But let's go ahead and dive into some of the facts. So Jonah Williams, 6'5", 312 pounds. Definitely has the prototypical build that you like to look for, especially for an offense like ours, where we like a little bit more agility and lateral movement to our offensive line unit. Orlando Brown Jr. ends up being signed to, I want to say he got a 5-year deal out of him. And it's interesting the parallels in the NFL because Jonah Williams wants to be recognized as a left tackle. Same thing with Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown has the more dominant resume. He was able to secure a spot. Jonah Williams hasn't necessarily been able to get that done. Now, what he does have in his favor is that he's exclusively worked as a left tackle, but he only really has one decent season, which is the 21 season on his resume to, put out there to prospective buyers. So he requested a trade. Nothing has come of that yet, but people have been speculating, right? Hence why we're talking about this. So currently, he's looking at a 5th-year option that he's playing on, $12.6 million, fully guaranteed. So it would be in the favor of the Bengals to get a player that no longer wants to be there out, as well as being able to clear that off of the cap books. And again, a player for player swap, it doesn't make sense. We're talking about a guy that's allowed 23 sacks and a career high 12 in the 2022 season over his 4 years in the league so far. Not an astronomical number, but still very concerning for a guy like Mekhi Becton coming out that many thought was going to be raw. It was just he had the rare physical traits to go out there and probably dominate a few matchups. Even if technically he wouldn't be as proficient in pass protection, run blocking would be his calling card. And he actually ended up being a better pass blocker than a run blocker right away, which run blocking was still a really good ace up his sleeve. And so, not an elite season by any measurement, but definitely one of the better tackles in the league right out of the gate. And he gave up 6 sacks. If we even said that that was going to be his average, he would be, below Jonah Williams in the general ballpark. Keep in mind, Jonah Williams has missed a season, his rookie year with the torn labrum. So I don't see what would entice another team, at least for the Jets, to want to do player for player. Again, Mekhi Becton does have the injury history, but he's playing on his 4th year of his 5th-year contract. We're probably not going to extend his 5th-year option, so we're going to have a much cheaper player, much higher ceiling, much higher floor if you want to base his rookie season off of that. And realistically, you would probably look more at a guy like Max Williams for a trade if we were going to give it up. But also, I'm not a fan of the musical chairs that we played before, asking George Fant to switch left, switch right, switch back. We already have Dwayne Brown as our certified veteran that's going to be battling out with Mekhi Becton. And even if you wanted some kind of insurance, Jonah Williams, at least for our purposes, granted, he's already said he only wants to be a left tackle. It really seems like it would be a 1 year rental, and unless somebody wants, goes down on the offensive line, Dwayne Brown or Mekhi Becton specifically, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't make a ton of sense our way. But let me know what your thoughts are on Jonah Williams as a prospect, and if there should be some level of intrigue in the New York Jets pursuing him. I would probably offer a pick if anything else. But again, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you again. Peace.